For this tutorial, you will need a white, a black, and a color that you want to make the gradient of your choice. You'll also need a pad of Post-its, a brush that doesn't go with any color in particular. This one came from an empty bottle of top coat. You just want to rinse it out with remover. And then you want a small cup of nail polish remover to be able to put that brush in. So first to start, put on your base coat to protect your nail, then take the color of your choice that you want to make the gradient and just paint the middle finger. Only the middle finger with that color. And you can go back and clean up so it doesn't have to be perfect. Make sure you get that under part of the nail. And for this color in particular that I'm using, which is Ruby Ruby by Sinful colors, it will definitely need a second coat, but I can go back and do that afterwards. Next, I'm going to do the ring finger, which will be one shade darker of the red. So you bring out a few drops of red on your Post-it. You want enough to be able to cover your entire nail, and then take the black and be very, very careful with the black. And just do a little, okay, that's more than, you can always add more red, and then take a toothpick and mix them together. As you can see, the black is very overpowering, so it depends really on which color you're using for the ombre. If you're using a darker color, it's going to need less black. And the lighter might need more or less depending on how dark you want it. And if you just drag it out, you can see what the color looks like. I'm going to add just a tad bit more red. And see. So then you take the brush that you had set aside and get a good amount on the brush and just paint your nail. Make sure you get the under part. And I would not wait to do a second coat, just keep going with the red. Now once that's dry, you want to do the pinky, which will be the darkest color, and you want to start off with your black. Do 1 or 2 droplets of black, and then do maybe 1 or 2 droplets of red. Because you want this dark, but you still want to be able to see that red color. And you take your toothpick, mix them together, and that is pretty much what I wanted. So make sure you have, well, you want to see, yep, just a little bit more black on the edge. You want to make sure you're using bottles that are nearly full, because it is very hard to get drops to come out when the bottle is partially empty. Then you take this brush after you've cleaned it off, get some on, and paint the nail. And again with the pinky, you want to make sure you're not waiting for the second coat, just going and plopping it all on. So now that that's dry, you want to do the pointer finger, which is 1 shade lighter than your original color. For red, this turns out to be pink, so if you don't want to mix these, you can always use a light pink that kind of has the view. Put a few drops of red enough to be able to cover your nail. And then take about 1 drop of white. Take the opposite side of your toothpick. You don't want to use the black end for all the white. And swirl. And if I compare, that's pretty dang close. So take your brush that you have cleaned and paint it right on. And there you go. Make sure if you want to put on an extra coat, you do it now. Now for the last part, you have to do the thumb, which will be the lightest. You have to be really careful about the thumb because you have to make sure you get plenty of polish on the paper to be able to cover it. Otherwise you're stuck trying to match the color by making more. So what you want to do is put a lot of white onto your post-it notes. Just do 4 or 5 drops. You want to make sure there's plenty. Then you want to take your color and do one drop. And you're going to have to drag it out into a bigger circle to swirl it enough. But you really, really want to swirl it good. I'm going to add about 1 more drop of white. And swirl. You can also do the swirling with the brush. You don't have to use a toothpick. It's up to you. And voila! It's going to turn out about that. Take your brush, your cleaned brush, and paint on. But you have to be very, very careful about getting enough paint on the post-it to be able to cover the nail completely. And I think I put a little too much white to match these colors up. Just a little, but that's okay. So you want to make sure you get the under part. And let that dry. Now that you've finished the design, you can go back with a top coat and apply to all your nails before you clean them up with a toothpick. That ensures that you most likely won't pull off any of the paint while you're cleaning up the edges. And make sure you put the top coat on the undertow. And definitely go back for a second coat to seal in your Ombre Manicure. And make sure when you're cleaning up, do not dump your cup of nail polish remover, which now is whatever, about a lighter shade of whatever color you originally used. Don't dump that back into your nail polish remover bottle. That would be awful. And sometimes if you need to go right after you do your nails, I found that if you put the top coat on the edges, that after it dries it'll start peeling off like a kind of tape. So here's the Ombre Manicure. I hope you enjoy the tutorial and try it out with all kinds of different colors. Thanks for watching.